Hell yeah.
Classes in session, this is the show where knowledge is profit, just so you know. Army Piper, OC guy, and Trade Fly, bringing crypto news to the whole alumni. It's the word on the market, the one-stop shop for the info you need every time that it drops. The go-to show that you need right now. This is Piper Academy, it's all going down, let's go.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Piper Academy. We've got a great show lined up for you today. Going to be taking a look at altcoin season. Did it end early? Has the top indicators said that this bull run is over? Do we have further down to go, or are we just getting started? We're going to be breaking it down and taking a look today on Piper Academy, guys. Let's get it. Classes in session. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Piper Academy. I am your host, Army Piper. We come at you every Monday through Friday right here at 9:30 a.m., bringing you guys all the news, the charts, the markets, and everything you need to have knowledge, because knowledge is profit. But I don't do the show by myself. I have a great co-host that helps me out with all of this. His name is OC Guy, and then I've got the most attractive TA analyst in the space that everyone loves to talk about. It's Trade Fly. Let's go ahead and bring him up here, guys. What's up, fellas? Hey,
you're killing me, Smalls.
You can either have brains or you can have beauty, and I've got brains from OC because nerd alert, and then I've got beauty from Trade Fly, and so among this entire trilemma of great things going on here, we got to pull together. But I'm trying to compete with the Trade Fly. I'm trying to compete with you.
Here we go.
I do. I'm trying to be as good looking as you are, bro. You know what I'm saying? Even if I got to use filters, I got it. I got it.
Oh my God.
What's up, man? Did you guys have a good Father's Day?
Something right.
Yeah, man. Did you have a good Father's Day?
It was good. It was good. I took the kids to the San Diego Fair, which is down here, a pretty big event. It's wild. It's almost like a town, and it's really, really nice. So it was good. There wasn't a lot of long lines, so we were able to just get on rides and go. So that was good. Got a place down in Carlsbad, down by the beach. So got to eat out on the rooftop. It was good. It was a good weekend, man. So I'm not upset right now.
Awesome.
Life is good.
Awesome. OC, first off, do they celebrate Father's Day in Mexico?
Yes, we do. Although I'm not a father properly just yet, I do have a four-legged son. He did not bring me anything, but I was a responsible father, and I wanted to get his dog food for the rest of the month.
Good job. Good job. Hey, fur babies count sometimes too, like when you don't have other kids, your fur babies are everything. So, so it's on the same day and everything. That's pretty cool. I didn't know that was, because that's a day that they did here in America, Hallmark marketing and capitalizing on how can we sell more. So I didn't know. I didn't know if that capitalism had spread as far down as Mexico. So good to know. Did you guys have a good weekend? I had a great weekend. I went and watched Inside Out 2. With my wife and my son, ZTS Rhythm, because it's a great movie. I like how they break down the anger's my favorite, as you can probably guess, but they break down really well the emotions that go on inside the head. They nailed teenage puberty, let me tell you, perfectly. So, and then after that, we came home and we had steak dinners and just chilled. It was a chill day. It's a chill weekend as I watched the markets bleed off and dump. So let's go talk about that for a second, because you guys saw the thumbnail today. We've got, hey, it's the top end. And I know it seems a little bearish, but there are some indicators that say it might be time to take some profit, but there's also some indicators that are saying we are only just beginning. So we're going to be looking at all of that data, and we'll talk about it here as a group. But let's go ahead and jump over and get into the market stuff, guys. Looking here, bam, fear and greed index sitting right now at 71. 71. We're still in greed, guys. We need to come lower before we get out of this greed stage. Let's go over and take a look at the crypto bubbles. They're telling us right now that we are red for the day. We are red for the week. We are red for the month. Guys, we're red everywhere. It's just it's a bloody mess. And so We're gonna we're gonna look at the charts. On the weekly though, here we do have Toncoin up 10.4%, Lido up 10.2, Uniswap just changing over to 11.2. Let's jump down here and see what's going on, guys. In the sea of red, Bitcoin currently sitting at 65,000, almost $500 there. Guys, it's still up a long way, so not a massive drop, but we're going to be looking at some support levels here in just a second. I will tell you, there's like billions of dollars sitting in liquidation zones that TradeFly is going to show you in a minute. Ethereum still sitting at 3,500, rallying a little bit this weekend based on the ETF rumors. So it is like it's trying to do some stuff on that news. So you can see here BNB coming in right at $599, just under 600, but down. Pretty much everything's down for the day. Tron's up a little bit here. Yeah, that's about it, guys. It's not looking pretty. Let's jump over and let's check out the liquidations, though. They're not too bad. Over the past 24 hours, 76,892 just changed on us. Traders were liquidated. Total liquidations coming in at $134 million. Largest single liquidation was on Ethereum, 4.21 million bucks there. And you can see in the last 24 hours, the longs just getting absolutely schwacked. So, looking at the economic calendar, can't cancel that off. Thank you very much. Let me get this back up in there. There we go. Taking a look here, guys, at the economic calendar, we don't have a lot this week. It is a pretty quiet week overall. We got a couple of Fed speeches today. Tomorrow, we're going to be looking at retail sales month over month. As of right now, it's looking to be 0.2% higher. If that is the case, that does indicate we could see a little bounce of inflation going higher. So keep an eye on that. I look sad. I'll show you sad in a second, man. Look at that retail
he missed
sales.
the frat boy filter.
What's that?
I said he missed the frat boy filter.
I know he did. I have to show it to him. Retail sales, though, coming in tomorrow morning, guys. Lots of Fed speeches this week. That's the big takeaway for this week. A lot of the Fed speaking. Looking here on Wednesday, it's housing market index. Thursday, building permits. Initial jobless claims, which comes out every week. And then on Friday, it's just S&P Global Manufacturing PMI. None of these major ones except for this building permits and the retail sales. That is all we got this week, guys. The big news, lots of Fed speakers, and that's what we're going to have to keep an eye on for the week. Let's jump over here now, and let's take a look at this article here, guys. Bitcoin investment products saw over $6 million of outflows last week across the broader digital asset ecosystem. Investment products saw net $600 million of outflows, entirely driven by Bitcoin's losses. The outflows offset minor inflows for a broader selection of altcoins, including ETH, Lido, and XRP. Crypto markets have been laid low by hawkish stance on interest rate cuts by the FOMC. And if you really want to know what's going on, that's what's going on. So let's jump back over here. Let me give a little something so I don't look sad for Alex O Crypto. Shout out to him in the chat there, Alex O. Do I look sad now or do I look beautiful? I look stunning, don't I? Yeah. All right, guys. So market sell-off. We've got indication of it there. You can see $600 million last week in outflows. What is your current sentiment on the market right now? Just a quick summary, quick synopsis of your where you think we are in this market. And then let's get into the charts. We'll look at Bitcoin. And then we'll go over and look at some of these, at least news headlines that we have here. We'll go with the OC guy first. OC, your thoughts on the markets right now? What's going on, man?
So I believe that we're still within a range that we've been talking about at this point. We haven't even touched the lower range areas, right? I mean, we're just retesting a center of the range zone. So it is not as bad as it seems to. I mean, if you take a look at previous dumps, we've been going through worse. I do think that we have something going on the altcoins, but that is to be expected. That is the usual cycle of money, right? When we see money flowing into Bitcoin, then stabilizing, then the altcoins kind of start suffering a little bit, and then we see Bitcoin pump, and then we see the altcoin season, then the meme coin season, and then once again back to fiat, or to start converting those USDTs or USDCs back into real world assets, right? So, but I'm pretty stoked to see what else you had on the news. Although I know I'll have to be a little bit patient in that. But I think that we have still a bright future, and 62 is not out of the questions right now. But we need to be a little bit careful. At least, I mean, you guys know that I'm holding a little bit till we start breaking above the upper ranging area for me to start getting seriously back into trading on Bitcoin. Other than that, looking for reposition myself in altcoins and also a little bit of Bitcoin, because I already have been mostly spent all of my money on Bitcoin. But yeah, that's my sentiment.
All right, TradeFly, where are you at with this, bro?
Yeah, man. I'm not overly concerned right now. AOC, he kind of mentioned it. We're in a range, and we've been in a range. I was just kind of going back on the chart just to look at it again, but we've been there since February. So like, it's consolidating. We had a really exponential move up. We hit an all-time high. Like, if you guys think it's just going to be upward trajectory forever, that's not possible. So it's going to go up. It's going to hit an all-time high. People will take profits. That's quite normal. And then, people are going to let it settle out. And then that's when you're going to see that consolidation before we get that movement back to the upside. So until we really start making a structure that says, hey, we're going to be headed back down, I wouldn't get overly concerned. And like, if you start looking about it or looking down at it, right? We went down to 56K, right? That was one of your calls. And that was just a previous range that you were looking at there. We got to bounce there. So we could come down to about 62K. We could come down to, yes, I mean, even a little bit lower, and you still have support in those areas, and you still have bullish structure, and you can still continue that movement to the upside. So I wouldn't freak out. Really, 56K, you know me, I like my horizontal lines, right? So I'm probably going to draw a line in the sand at about 56K. If we see something underneath of that, and then we see it come up and retest, and then we see continuation of the downside, this is when I'm like, okay, now we have officially started a trend in a different direction. And
Yep.
that's when I start to worry.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat there, and I think that Dave Digital said it best. Don't trip, buy the dip. If you want to know how I truly feel about right now, I'm not invested into immediate returns. I'm looking at the long term here. We're playing a long game, right? As Piano Matty B always says, we're playing the long game. So I'm a little bullish. But shout out to Rayanne Shipley. That's my niece. She's in here saying hi. Good morning. Good morning to you, Rayanne. Buy the dip. That's dollar cost averaging has proven time and time again to be the way to go. So let's jump into these articles and let's talk about these articles because they're a pretty big deal. And some things in here that I'm going to talk about. We're going to lay out a story, okay? This is the news that's coming out as it comes out, guys. Before anybody says I'm spreading FUD, I'm just telling you guys all the news that's out there. This is what causes people to get into fear, into FOMO. It's these news headlines. And so when you look at what's coming out, telling two different stories, it can be confusing. So that's why we're here to break down today. First off, we got this headline here. Altcoin season ends prematurely. What went wrong? Now, keep in mind, we typically see an alt season that happen after an all-time high on Bitcoin. But there's people saying that this is it. This was the Bitcoin cycle, right? Altcoin season can now be considered over owing to the rapid rise in Bitcoin's dominance. Out of the top 50 altcoins barring stablecoins, only 8 have outperformed Bitcoin in 3 months. Bitcoin's dominance now stands at the highest mark since March 2021's crash when Bitcoin had a 70% domination level. Get out of here. Thank you. Bitcoin has been receiving market support owing to the increasing demand generated by a successful spot Bitcoin ETF. Is altcoin season over? Here we go. The altcoin season, also known as alt season, is a period of the cryptocurrency market where altcoins significantly outperform Bitcoin. This phenomenon is primarily identified by observing 2 key indicators: Bitcoin's dominance and the altcoin price performance. The decline was last noted in January this year when Bitcoin's dominance fell sharply from 54% to 50%. However, since then, dominance has noted an uptrend, reaching 55% in the past month. So there's one article there talking about altcoin season is done. And then this here says meme coins are indicating the end of the crypto bull run. We just had a massive run on meme coins. And so we know when we have those meme coins run, that euphoria of all of these people coming out. Here's, we're going to get into some of the things, but DeFi analyst Stacy Murr warns meme coin surge may signal the end of the current crypto bull run. Murr suggests securing profits based on Messari's pattern analysis of the crypto trends. And let's just jump down here and get into it. Following Messari's meme coin investigating research, Murr speculates that investors should consider securing profits. Why he thinks that it's in. He said Messari's analysis reveals a pattern in the crypto markets that typically starts with major investments in crypto infrastructure projects. This is very logical. The crypto bull markets usually begin with Bitcoin or smart contract platforms due to factors like liquidity and risk-reward profiles. And then these assets signal that crypto isn't dead, attracting speculation. And then after that, things move on into other sectors. The investment trend that shifts towards more volatile assets like meme coins, which we saw. That's what happened, which are known for their potential rapid gains. However, Muir warns that meme coins are usually the first to fall, marking the end of a speculative wave. So we do have that. I think we just unpacked a little bit there. Let's talk about that first. So what they talked about here, we have a cycle, right? Bitcoin runs up, dominance does its thing, pulls back, altcoins have their run, then they pull back. Meme coins take off and go parabolic, and then that is the 3-layer cycle of a crypto cycle. Thoughts? Did we see that? And are we following that? Like, is this it? This is what the 3 layers are historically. We just saw it happen. Did it happen? Was that what we saw? And is this the end of it? We'll go TradeFly first on this one.
Yeah, I'm gonna say I don't really think so. And I didn't go and look at it statistically or add everything up. That just personal perception of what I saw. Bitcoin made a run. Altcoins followed, but they really didn't have that altcoin season, they say. But meme coins, a few of those definitely exploded. So that's where I saw a rotation more so into meme coins than like your traditional mid to upper like cap altcoin. So that's kind of what I feel like I personally saw in the charts. But like if you're looking, and we've kind of talked about this before, if you're looking at Ethereum, if you're looking at Ethereum to a lesser extent, but like Cardano, Matic, and some of those other altcoins that are top 20, top 15, top 10 really for Cardano, like they are not in the same place where they were last time Bitcoin made its run up to 69K. So when it had its 2021 high, like if you look at the charts, like they just didn't keep up. They didn't keep the pace. So it's very interesting to look at that. Like I said, I saw a lot of flow in my mind. I saw a lot of flow into things like Bonk and some of these meme coins. They just like the communities got behind them and drove those things through. But I didn't see an altcoin run per se. And I think everyone's still kind of waiting for that. And that was one of the things I pointed out on the chart this morning. I was looking at it and I was like, dang, those things are down like 10%, 13%. And they're like at like bear market lows almost. Like it's kind of crazy. So I don't know. I guess we're still waiting for it.
Yep. OC, what you got for us, bro?
Well, I do believe that we had a little bit of a altcoin season, and that is because we need to acknowledge that, I mean, within a trend, if we start talking about technicalities, right? I mean, we know a trend, for example, is say there's higher highs and higher lows, but what happens when we don't have those higher highs and then we start seeing a little bit of a range, right? That's when little variations we see, and how TradeFly has been mentioning, and also as you have been mentioning, we had a huge run up, right? And then we see those little ranges. Well, then that's for me when I start saying, and guys, you can go somewhere around, let me just bring this up on date so you can actually confirm that with me. You can go somewhere around Monday, 19 February 2024, all right, somewhere around these areas in here, and take a look at those videos. And I was saying, hey guys, we are in a mini altcoin season. And that is because, remember, set of higher highs, right, and higher lows. But this is not a higher high, neither a higher low. But what happens when we start seeing this stretching out into these areas in here? Well, then that's exactly when we start seeing what we see right now, that the altcoins start retracing based on the length on the range, right? So I don't think this is over. We are going to be seeing again, let's just pretend that we are right here, right? We're going to be seeing the pump of Bitcoin, then a little bit of a range, and altcoins gonna be also be pumping up. Not all of them, especially a couple of those, because remember, altcoin season properly starts when we are almost at the end of the bull cycle. And if we go somewhere like daily or even weekly, we are right now ranging. And again, after that big movement or big leg up, when we start making a little range like this one's, that's when we're gonna be seeing icons also start moving. But yeah, that's what I see. I mean, I'm not in a rush for altcoins. They do what they need to do, and I do see they're playing out as expected.
Yeah, I think so too, personally. But to point out, these headlines though, guys, this is what people are reading. This is what's flashing in front of people on headlines. This is what's being pushed in on articles. Most of these articles I get straight off of TradingView. So the people that are out there buying, that are looking at charts, that are scouting for crypto news, this is the headlines that are popping up to them. And at the end of the day, it is the general amount of noise. It is the average messaging and the level of noise that is hitting the marketplace. And you got things coming out like, that make people go, oh, yeah, I saw that too. This has to be true, right? For example, in that article that we were talking about meme coins, it says they share further skepticism. This month, BN Crypto reported insights from an analyst who pointed out 3 market top signals. Celebrity endorsements of meme coins, check. A surge in new meme coins, check. A flood of profit and loss screenshots on social media, check. The increasing celebrity involvement in meme coins, with figures like Caitlyn Jenner, Iggy Azalea, and Andrew Tate launching their tokens, mirrors the past peaks in 2017 and 2021 market. And here's a mind-blowing number for you guys. The creation of over 1 million new meme coins in April alone indicates extreme market speculation. The situation, combined with the widespread sharing of P&L screenshots, suggests that the market might be nearing a turning point. At the end of the day, I'm not saying that, hey, these are reliable sources. Shout out to Dave Digital. Yes, always check your sources on your data. But you do have to realize that when you get the general pool of data of news articles, this is the messaging going out to the general population that are in crypto. So when you have that amount of noise and you have a message all coming in the multiple sources to the mainstream retail user, to the consumer, this is the messaging that's going to dictate how they react to this market movement. So and at the end of the day, that's what matters. So let me go over here. I do have a thing about Dogecoin. I'm just going to touch on this real fast. It's a headline. So Dogecoin founder chooses Bitcoin over Doge. Furthermore, if we go and look, there's actually a thing that was talking about Doge dropping, and I don't know where that article went. I had it up here. Oh, yeah, there it is. Dogecoin insider issues important risk to the community, warning to the community. And then there was a thing about Doge could be dropping like another 50%. Anyway, this is the point of it. It's because of things like this. It's cause and effect. Robinhood records a large Dogecoin transfer. And typically when you move something to an exchange, there's only one real reason to do that. It's to sell it, right? According to a recent update from Well Alert, nearly $13 million worth of Dogecoin has been transferred from an unknown wallet to the commission-free investing app Robinhood's the first major Doge transfer recorded by Well Alert since June 5th, back when $32.6 million worth of Doge was transferred over to that platform. Robinhood users hold a whopping $7.36 billion in Doge. It's the second most popular cryptocurrency on the exchange. So, so there's another meme coin coming to an end there, massive transfer moving over. It really does create the sentiment for people to go, things are looking really, really bad right now. I should probably sell. This headline said that, which causes a trickle effect. Let's go look at those charts and see what they're looking like, and then we'll talk about why we may not be at the end of the market, because I don't think we are. So I think this bull run still has some plenty of room to go. Let's jump over here and take a look at Bitcoin right now, guys. We do have a sell-off going on this morning. We're coming down to the $65,000 range. This fibs that I currently have up were pulled from these levels here, with this peak that we had here in the bottom here at the beginning of May, up to this double top here. It actually pulls from this one. We double topped on it perfectly there, back in 7 June. So looking at these levels for this fib, we do have a 50% coming in here at about 64,236. But what I'm really watching is right here, $62,400 down to 61,800. That is the golden pocket as we currently sit. And if we go over and we look at the daily and I've talked about this numerous times on here, guys, but I'm still going to get the daily here. That is where our dynamic reactor is coming in. If we go back and we look historically, you can see that once we get above the dynamic reactor, it plays perfect support for us. Even back in previous cycles, little outliers that have fallen a little bit below it, but overall, if we're above it, we bounce on it clean. That is what I'm watching there, is going to be that golden pocket coming in, as I said, 61.8 to 62.4 for support. And until we break that, I'm still in the mindset that we are just ranging right now. We have a nice fixed range volume profile in here. Let me go ahead and pull that in just to show you guys what I'm talking about. We got a nice fixed range volume profile in here. There we go. And that value area low coming in right there at that golden pocket also. So there's another confluence point for support. And then let me pull up the parallel channel, because we do have a parallel channel running in here too. Where are you at? Nope, that is not it. I will have to redraw it. Evidently, I took it off of here. Oh, there it is, Bitcoin range. So we do have this range that we're trading in here, guys. If you take a look, we did have a little outlier here, but that line coming in right here, we're at about 60,500. So if we do lose the dynamic reactor, we do lose that golden pocket, and we do lose that value area low at this range here, be watching for the bottom of this channel. We had support back here twice. We've had support here on it, support here on it. We're pretty much in a range on Bitcoin. But we do have some liquidation heat map levels that are, there's billions of dollars sitting in liquidation levels on this. Let's jump over to TradeFly's chart. We'll show what he's looking at there on the heat map, and then we'll take a look at Bitcoin from the other guys' perspective here. So
Right on. Yeah, got the liquidation heat map up on the 3-day chart right now. So we actually cleared into this. I won't say cleared it out, but we're working on clearing out this liquidity right now. This is happening live, kind of as we're going through the show. So this is an area I was going to mention, which is about 65.1. You kind of see we're kind of getting into that area. So yeah, I'm not going to be surprised at all, especially because you can see a support level. So that's what's kind of cool about this, especially if you zoom out on the liquidation heat map. You can say, hey, like we have an area that should be support, but we also have liquidity sitting above that. So where's the likely area that we could go? Well, 65K, well within play based on support and liquidity. So coming over to the chart a little bit, and Piper has mentioned a couple key levels here, but like I'm not really gonna freak out. I'm on the weekly right now, and I'll come back and I'll tell you why I was looking at the weekly, because I want you to see a comparison that I have between Bitcoin and some of the other altcoins to kind of rehash the point I was making. So if it comes down to the 0.5, no real big deal. 64K, that's one, you're clearing out some of the liquidity, and you have an area of support. You look back left on the chart. If you actually extend this orange line, you can see there was support, there was resistance, and this is actually where it made a movement up. So I think that's going to be a pretty nice area to see some price action. You also have the dynamic reactor, right? And I think that was already mentioned by Piper, but you have the golden pocket in conjunction. So you have confluence. So for me, key area that I would look for a bounce. Even if we make it under that, we still have this support range that has been in play since February. All right. So you have so much support right now that's saying like it's not all over. All right. We can come down here, still have a bullish structure, and still see that continuation of the upside. So don't freak out right now. It's not beautiful if you bought up at 69K. You don't like seeing it come down to these ranges, but at the same time, all is not lost. Don't freak out. Like I said, you would have to see it actually break probably 56K. That'd probably be my line in the sand. And then that's where I would kind of get a little bit more concerned. Now, let me go to the weekly real quick, because I do want to show you guys one thing that I was talking about when I was saying, like, I haven't seen the bull market or the altcoin movement. And let me show you why I say that. Altcoins have moved with Bitcoin, right? Almost more so 1-to-1 vice what you would expect to see with altcoins, right? They're lower cap. There should be more volatility. They should move more exponentially than Bitcoin. So I want you to go back to the 2021 high. This is why I always bring it up. All right. You see the 2021 high? All right. And then you see the next high for Bitcoin. Let me actually, the wick comes all the way up to about 73, right? That's in March. All right. So mark those two areas in your mind. And then we're going to go to Ethereum. Right now, I made little lines for you, right? Because you had that high, you had the next high. That's in November, right? There's a correlation there to time frame where you saw a movement up for Ethereum. It set its all-time high pretty much around the same time Bitcoin did. Well, look at time now, right? We come into March, it didn't even make it up to its all-time high. It didn't set a new all-time high, which theoretically it probably should have, right? Now let's go look at Cardano. This is a top 10 altcoin. No matter what you say about it, no matter how you feel about it, look where it's at right now. All right. Same thing. Now, this is August, September. So it pulled back, a little bit, but still, like, generally speaking, time frame wise, it was roughly the same, right? It had its big run up. It had a sell off because it set a new all time high. But look at the gap of the price action for Cardano. This is why I say the bull market for altcoins never really came to fruition. And that's my take on it. That's kind of why I feel that way. We could probably look at a ton of different ones. Here's AVAX, same thing, same deal. I haven't seen that move, especially on the larger cap altcoins, that signify to me at any point that we had a bull run. It just moved up. The crypto market moved up because there was bullishness behind Bitcoin and the ETF. Right? And then if you look at some of the meme coins, completely different, right? You start looking at Bonk, that thing moved 9,000%. You look at some of those, like, you actually see something where it was like, okay, there was some movement. So that's kind of where I was going at. And this is why I always say, hey, zoom out, look at the charts, and then that'll put a lot of things into perspective for you.
Yeah, perfect point, man. Let's go ahead and bring up OC's chart. OC, show us what you're seeing on Bitcoin. Let's talk about this Wyckoff distribution that you like to talk about, because I know you got a reference on this, don't you?
Absolutely, yes. Although we haven't broken. It's a little bit wonky at this point, but still, I mean, the similarities are way too paired or too similar to start to ignore them, right? So let me see if I can bring them up. Where is my? Here we go. I think this is it. Perfect. As you can see right here, we have the AR point, which usually it's going to be this one that we're marking here, and then a couple of other important points. And I don't know why my guys, give me 1 second. Sorry for that. All right. So we can see right here, and let me see if I can move this out of the way. We have the SOS point right here, and we were looking at that SOS breakthrough right here where we have this other movement here, right? We were expecting a little bit either pullback or little range before pulling back out of that range. And you can see what is upcoming. It is a big movement. Also, just for reference, we have the spring right down here, and then the movement to the upside that we can clearly see. So at this point, the pullback has been way much more intense of what I would have expected. Nonetheless, something interesting that I'm seeing on the charts, it is that we have a bullish divergence in here because we keep pushing downwards. Also, something to look for, it is, for example, this trend line that we have going on. Look at that. We have something like a triple bottom or a double bottom, a breakout, a retest, and off we go. As you can see, that's exactly what I'm expecting here if we do not break the bottom part first. So we need to keep expecting a little bit of a ranging action. And also, we could be formulating here, or at least adding to this bullish divergence. If we see a flip of the ribbon early, well, then most likely we're going to have that triple bottom, breakout, retest, and off we go to the upside. So, guys, if you're very bearish, just hold on. I mean, strap on. That's why I haven't jumped into any shorts just yet, because we could be having a little bit of surprise, especially now since we are seeing, technically, if I'm very, very peaky, technically we had a higher low right here, right? So it's not all said and done. Remember, charts are not perfect. So I'll rather see this as a flat bottom, in which we could be expecting maybe that double bottom. And then if we break through that zero line, finally breakout, retest, and off we go. So I'm still bullish until we start losing with this kind of candles, this line that we have formed right here at 64,900. So yeah, I mean, I'm pretty optimistic so far.
Awesome. Let's so yeah, I think that there's some interesting things on the charts, but when you look at the end of the day, you know, we've got things like, you know, like this headline here, Bitcoin bulls, bull run may be over, and the next move could see it drop nearly 50%, says a market vet who predicted the 2018 crash. Let's look at this real fast, and then I'll show you guys why I don't think this bull run is over. Matter of fact, I might even be in the party that says that it hasn't even really begun at all. So taking a look here, Bitcoin may have peaked for this cycle and what awaits investors could be a steep fall in the token's value. Peter Brandt, veteran chart analyst, guys, he's a long time player in the scene here, who forecasted the Bitcoin price plunge in 2018, noted, it said it may have peaked around $73,000 in March, and what awaits could be a 50% fall in the token's value. That's according to Peter Brandt, veteran chart analyst and the founder of Factor Trading, who successfully forecasted the 2018 dump when it lost about 80% of its value. It has happened. It is real. You may not want to believe it, but I place a 25% chance that Bitcoin has already topped. That means a 75% chance that it has not, guys. He added that he expects a plummet back to the 2021 lows in the mid $30,000 range. So about $35,000 is where he's calling, 35, 36, which would mark roughly a 50% from the current level. He backed up his rationale with the concept he refers to as exponential decay, with each bull cycle of Bitcoin from 2009 to 2021 shrinking by about 20% compared to the last. Applied to the last rally, exponential decay says the current bullish trend might increase about 4.5 times growth. And from the previous cycle, given that framework, the high was projected to be 72,723. Now, all that being said, something that's not in his factor here, it's not in his calculation, is that we had ETFs happen. That has a play of new variables going into the mathematics that's not there for him. So let's look at what Rect Capital says, because he's got a very interesting chart over here, and I'm going to pull it up, and we're going to talk about this, and then we'll get into altcoins, guys. Look here, this is he's talking here, and he says we have 2 months. We are 2 months after the Bitcoin halving. The current price action is comparable to the previous 60-day post-halving periods. So you look back here in 2016, we had the halving. We had a little pullback, and then it rallied up. You can see here in 2020, we had a small pullback, it ranged sideways, and these are monthly candles, guys, so months. We had about 2 months, about 60 days in 2016. We had about 90 days of ranging, really, in 2020. And right now, we are really sitting higher than what the halving was, and we're in the 60-day cycle. This is all normal for 60 days post-halving for price action, and he's not seeing anything. Matter of fact, he's saying that everything is all normal, just keep DCA, and that's pretty much what he has going on here. So I just wanted to bring that up and show that at the end of the day, guys, we're within 60 days after that halving. Nothing major has happened here with price besides a ranging of sideways. And if you really want to see where we are, just pull up the Eric Wallen chart. Guys, we're still sitting at the 1-to-1 line of 65,510. What is that level? Well, that's where the candles closed at the top of last cycle. Matter of fact, if you look here, candle close on this one, or candle opening, I should say, was 65,510. The high point here, it closed at 65,510 bucks. pretty much right where we are right now. So we are literally bouncing off of where the actual post sell-off and post FOMO candles closed at the last bull cycle right now. I do think that we could come all the way down to $56,000 and still be in a bullish structure because we are still above that phase 3 cycle there. That would be the 887 of this entire bull run season. From top to bottom, I should say, season, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, we could still hit that 56,000 on the 887 and still be bullish. The big thing I'm watching here is going to be right there. I want to see what happens when that turns green and the miners are no longer in capitulation. They start getting all of those ASICs updated, and then the mining really begins, guys. We're still way early in the cycle. So that's what I wanted to point out there. At the end of the day, you got all this noise, all of this drama in the media about what's going to be happening or what could happen. At the end of the day, Bitcoin still has a lot of room to run, in my opinion, whether it be this cycle, whether it be for the future. And if you're in crypto for your future, then dollar cost average is the way. And these are just opportunities knocking on your door. It's up to you if you're going to open them or not. So let's go ahead and jump into some altcoins now. We are a little bit past the top of the hour, but who's got a chart up and ready to go?
I do
got
have Turbo
Solana.
pull up.
You got OC. I heard something. You got something up. Let's go ahead and pull it up.
Perfect. All right. So also in our live chat on Discord, I pull up a couple of things that they were requested, 2 of them. So Turbo, take a look at Turbo. I want to talk about it because we had an alert being hit on Turbo on the previous week. That was on, let me bring it up. Here we go, June the 7th. So basically we keep falling down. And we were expecting a little bit of a push of a movement because we had a couple of bullish divergences, right? Let me show you something that I do see here. So this is a huge falling wedge, and usually those falling wedge tend to break to the upside, right? So something that I'm looking at, it is this center line that I have drawn, and that is because as long as we do not lose that line, we still up for a bull run to break out and retest. When are we going to be seeing that? First of all, I want to see the flip of the ribbon. Second of all, look at now what's happening with the clouds right here. Let me zoom in, right? What I'm talking about are these green and red clouds. They are compressing, or they were at least compressing in this area. And right now, they're barely expanding. So that leads me to understand that we are having a little bit of a pressure buildup, right? Or a squeeze coming up. You'll see that we compress and then we expand. Look at that after the flip of the ribbon with a big volume movement. Let me clear this up and then show what had happened on those areas as we move to the either upside or to downs. Here we go. As you can see, we made that pull all the way up to that pattern. So let me just pull this one back up. So for me, a bullish movement could be on its way as long, guys, again, as long as we have a flip of the ribbon, right? And then a bounce out of the center line. So far, is if Bitcoin remains at where it is right now and start bouncing, we could be having a little bit of a push to the upside like we have had before. Hopefully this time with a breakout. Because if we measure this movement right here, we'll see that will be big enough to have that breakout, possibly retest, and then maybe off we go. I'm not going to be saying that we're bullish because we're not. All right, this is only a future prediction. We're still bearish. What do we need to start looking for a bullish movement? First of all, our prime score to turn from somewhere around 5, and also our market prophecy to change to market pumps. So other than that, looking forward for that movement. We're still bearish, but we haven't yet lost this center line, which for me is very, very important. So what I'm going to be doing is just right click, add an alert on it, and then wait for that possible retest and look for that flip of the ribbon. And then maybe, if conditions are right, jump into a long position on Turbo.
Nice. Good setup there. Also, we had a question in the chat from who was it? It was Crypto Pollo. He said, where will alts be at if Bitcoin goes to 56K? If Bitcoin goes to 56K, altcoins are going to be wrecked pretty hard, guys. But that is why you always hear about risk to reward. And, we talk about Bitcoin should be your primary, and then Ethereum, and then your layer twos, and then it goes down. Less amounts of the alts, the higher the risk gets. And if you've been saving dry powder on the side, that's when you buy more of those altcoins to lower your average entry if it is below where you bought. So that's how that works, guys. Look at those things as opportunity at the end of the day. If they get down to those levels, because Bitcoin's at 56K, you should have reason to be a little bit excited. I'm just saying. So let's go ahead and check out what TradeFly's got on his chart, and then I will pull up Ondo. I got Ondo coming up.
Right on. Yeah, I don't know if you guys noticed, my light died like midstream, and this thing is not coming back. So fortunately, I was able to use a little desk light here to try to help me out. So I got Sol up on the daily right now. We're actually at a really good spot in terms of if you're kind of into swing trading. And the reason I bring that up is look at the dynamic reactor. This thing has been bullish since, let's go back, October 23. All right, it's been green all the way through, and it's acted as support. We've had multiple touches of the dynamic reactor. We've also formed a symmetrical triangle on the daily. Now, I will say from my experience, I don't know, my observation, we'll just say that. A lot of times when you see a symmetrical triangle, gosh, a lot of times it's probably not the right word either. Sometimes when you come into a symmetrical triangle, I always look for like, where did it enter the symmetrical triangle? So if the pressure or if the price action was coming into the symmetrical triangle from the bottom side of it, then I would have a bias towards the upside when you form a symmetrical triangle. That's just a personal, again, observation. Haven't actually went through it statistically and measured that all out, but it's just my own personal bias. We are now testing the dynamic reactor, and we are testing that trend line, and we have an area of significant support. All right, so that's all lining up right here at about 143, 144. This could be an opportunity here for Sol to look for some up and right movement. So where did I get this line from? Well, you can see back here, way back on the chart, 2021, 2022. This was a very prominent area right here where we're at time now. So I think probably might open a small position on Sol. Don't know how it's going to play out. Nothing crazy. Probably throw a couple $100 at it, just because we are at an area that I like. And we've had a nice move up into the 200s, and now we've pulled back to about 143. That makes me feel better about my entry when I'm adding to my bags and Sol. So again, nice key area here at about 143 to 144 and that area. And if we press up, I would keep an eye on this trend line. All right, so this trend line is coming down and right. If you do get an interaction with that, I would also think that at some point it's probably going to line up with about this area right here. So really where we have support and resistance, it's going to be a little bit of a range, but I would say somewhere around 171 to about 173, you could see some resistance. So let's just put that into perspective. If we were looking for that move, and let's just say we came up to where there was resistance right there, it's about a 20% move, 19.93%. I'll take that all day. So again, I might add to a position in Sol. I'm looking at that. I'll probably do that today. And then if it pulls back, we always got to be realistic. We can flip the trend if everything continues down and right, because it is risky, right? When you're buying at a support level and you're not really looking for everything in terms of your full setup, like for me, I would personally like to see a second touch in this area. If I got a second touch in this area, then I would come down and I would look at the RSI or the prime oscillator, and I would be looking for something. You guys have seen me draw this probably a million times now, but I'm going to do it. All right. I want to see something like that where it's building strength, but feeling a little froggy today. So not financial advice. Do not follow me, but I do think I am going to get to a Sol position. Let me see. If it does come down, there you go. You need prices. 119. So you can see we have multiple touches here in the area of about 119. You come back left on the chart, you can also see that goes down to about, we'll call it 116 or so. So, going to be a little bit of a range, but you should find some support in that area for a bounce, or I won't say a bounce, but a little bit of price action. And you also do a little bit lower have this value area high of a previous range. So you got a couple things to look at there. It does look like there's a little range here. I don't know how excited I'd be about this one. This one's a lot more significant. So keep an eye on this. This is definitely an area you would look for a bounce, and this is kind of like your so you see have an alert here. I'd be a lot more excited, but that's a huge move down. All right, so I'm not saying it can't get there, but if we start talking about Bitcoin going down to 50K, going out there and clearing out that liquidity again, then we start talking about this area right here, and you can lather into a trade. You can add to your bags, and that's kind of some of the numbers I'm looking at for Solar right now.
All right, awesome. We got a request for Lido, and OC said he's going to take that, and then we got a request for Matic. So if you can get Captain Jack Matic going for us, that would be great. And then I'm going to be looking at Ondo right now, and then I'm going to be looking at ETH on the roundabout once you guys get done with Lido and Matic. So let's jump over to my chart here. Take a look at what I'm seeing on Ondo, guys. Ondo, I still got these trend-based fib extensions going on here, and you guys can see we got rejected there on that phase one golden pocket at $1.42 there. That was all of this top resistance area that we had here. We came back down into our original fib sequencing here, and right now we this weekend since yesterday, we have lost the golden pocket. You can see we had a good bounce here on it. Let me bring that in. We had a good bounce here on that golden pocket. It tried to come back up, couldn't get it, got rejected, and now we are getting all of our support off of the 50. Guys, as I always say on the fibs, if you get your support on the 50, that is where you'll get your bounce, and it's bullish still. If we lose this and we get rejected on this 50, guys, look for an entry on that 50. That would be $1.07 on that retest. Look for a short entry. I do believe at that point we're heading down to 95 cents. Where do I get that level from? Well, that level is from this fixed range volume profile, which is taking place from this entire period here, from here to current. Okay, so that is what we have there. When we look at that, is that fixed range value area high. And so let's go take a look at what's down there in that 95 cent range, because I do have another fixed range volume profile that I threw on here on top of this. We've lost the value area low of the current fixed ranged area, guys. There is nothing in here. There's actually a gap. We have a little bit of volume here at the 382, but we don't really get into any real volume until that 95 cent range. So I'm going to be watching for a breakthrough of the 50 and a retest. If we do not hold the 50, look for that retest for a short down to 95 cents. If we take a look at the oscillators here, guys, we are getting an uptick right now on the 50, which does give us a little bit of a hope. But as of right now, we're sitting really low on everything, and we still have room to move on this on the Oscillator Pro ribbon. You can see that still plenty of room despite that bottoming there. We had one here. You can see we did a little pull up and then came back down. It is very possible that we could have that happen here, where we come down, we get a bounce, reject off the golden pocket, and then set for that movement down to 95. Either way, Ondo looking pretty bearish right now with the current Bitcoin price action having control over the altcoin market. So that's what I'm seeing on Bitcoin. Let's kick it over to OC for Lido, and then we'll be back around, Captain Jack Matic.
No.
Absolutely. So let's take a look at LDO as we have been seeing. So we've also talked about a couple of things on where and how to learn how those breakers are going to be breaking through or happening. But also we see that we can look at a couple of structures that played very, very nicely. So nicely that we have been able to almost call them perfectly, right? And today is not, I don't think that is going to be the exception. Why? Because look at that beautiful movement that we have had. So higher lows, right? And higher highs. I mean, this is just amazing. So let's see when until where we're going to be having those movements. So far we have a reversal. We are having a bearish divergence. We're flattening out at the top on the oscillators. So we need to be a little bit careful. Yes, we're still bullish because we're technically above the dynamic reactor on this candle. So what I'm going to be looking at or doing right now, and let me just bring this back into scene, it's that I'm going to be making a trend line in here, right? So this is going to be one of my most important trend lines. I'm going to be extending it a little bit forward. Here we go. And I'm going to be looking for a breakout on that trend line. So I'm going to look at, right click on it, and also add an alert on it. So I'm also going to be cloning it to make a little channel here. I'm also going to be using that channel. Let's see, come on, unlock it, perfect, and then moving it upwards here and adjusting it slightly. I think this is going to be working very, very nicely. All right, so far it's looking great, and I'm going to be using those thresholds to add for a breakout system. So far it seems like we are on a not only a channel but most likely like a rising wedge. I'll call this better a channel. For me, it kind of has that structure, but also we need to be very careful at this breakout. So how do you trade this? Well, I need to wait for the flip of the ribbon, add support, all right? And then as we move forward, I'll try to position myself lower again, only when I have the flip of the ribbon, all right? Right down here and bouncing off support. Or if for some reason the movement is too fast, well, then I'll be waiting for this alert to hit, right? Then breakout, retest, then flip of the ribbon, and off we go. So that's going to be for the bullish scenario. Let's take a look at the bearish scenario here. If we start hitting this line right down here, right, and we see either a range break or a downwards breakout with the zero line breakout, well, then I'm going to be waiting for that pullback to the upside, confirming that I'm still below the zero line, going for the flip of the ribbon to the opposite side, and then opening a short till where if I bring up my my order blocks, it's going to be first of all to the loud order block. And as you can see, this is exactly the zone what I'm expecting to bounce if we get downwards, all right? And then off we go for our support or resistances, maybe all the way down to 177. But so far, looking neutral, right? So not looking bad, looking neutral. And that's because we are between two loud order blocks. And that's what I'm expecting, a side breakout. So that's what I have on LDO. Not looking bad, not looking fabulous, just in a waiting zone. And yeah, try to make the most out of it. Turning it back to you guys.
All right, Trade Fly, what you got for us on Matic, bro?
Yeah, I'm looking at Matic on the daily, just kind of getting the big picture here. Couple things I like, couple things I don't like. I'll start with one of the things that I really don't like. Looking at this little trend, right? And you can see it was honoring it. So this is where it started. You had a few touches on this trend. You can see this price action was actually moving up as it was kind of following the trend up and right. Then you had a nice wick off of this trend line, right? People bought this trend line. They obviously mapped that thing out. There was a little bit of confluence there, platinum pocket, but it looks like we're getting on the bottom side of this trend line, which gives me a little bit of pause. Like if I was looking at Matic right now, it's a little bit of a concern, but it did hold up at the bottom area of that platinum pocket. So it's a little bit of conflicting, I will say information for me right now. Maybe the trend line just, it's not perfect. Price action isn't going to respect it perfectly, even though so far it has. It just gives me a little bit of pause. So this platinum pocket here. So if we were looking at price action and let's draw a horizontal line so we can actually kind of go back in history and say, okay, this area that we're at time now, how has price action played off of that? And let's make it green. There you go. All right. So looking at that, right? All right. You got the wick, you got confluence of this trend line, beautiful buy opportunity, probably right there, but we got rejected off the golden pocket, came down, time now. Cool. Coming back left. All right, there is support, there is resistance coming here, support, resistance, support in this area, and this is on the daily for KuCoin. Is that it? Is that all we have for history-wise on KuCoin? All right, well, that's all we have. So there you go. This area right now is, I would say, a critical area for Matic. It needs to hold up here, but how much further down can we go? I mean, it's at what, 59 cents right now. So I mean, we were just talking about Matic being up at about $1. There you go, $1.26, $1.28. Not too long ago. So that's a pretty big fall off for Matic, quite quick. I mean, you're talking about March 2024, and we've had measure it out here, 50-some% pullback, right? Like that's pretty rough for Matic. So looking at that, I would have a little concern here, but at the same time, like it might be an opportunity. All right. So trend lines they're not always perfect. But if you're looking at this trend line, it's going up and right. So there could be an opportunity here. And if it falls back, I mean, I would say I think I'm not gonna like put everything on my name on it, but 49 cents is definitely a logical move where you could see price action and find a little bit of stability there. But I mean, anything lower than that, you're talking bear market lows, dude, and that's just banana land. Like, why would we be talking bear market lows for a top 20 crypto and altcoin? So yeah, I think right here, critical level, it's going to be really interesting to see how things play out for Bitcoin. Hopefully, Bitcoin starts making a move up and right. Looks like it's trying to find a little support this morning. So there could be an opportunity here to see some movement back up, at least to the top side of this platinum pocket. And it looks kind of small, but say, hey, yeah, let's get rid of this, right? If you got rid of this, you have a lot less concern, right? Because you're looking at this and you're like, oh, okay, we're at the bottom part of the platinum pocket. We got an area of support, which all lines up on the chart. We could see a little bit of a bounce. And then if we make that move up to the top side of the platinum pocket here at a minimum, you're looking at a 13% move. So not so bad. So again, I think, I have a little bit of pause, but I do like Matic. And I think you guys didn't see it, but I did actually open up an order with Sol here. I will show you that right there. So put my money where my mouth is. I think I might open a little position on Matic, right? I like where we're at price level wise for a lot of these altcoins right now. And so I don't have a problem lathering into some trades, putting in $100 or so, because I mean, the opportunity is there, right? If you just zoom out and you start looking at these charts, you're like, oh, well, there's definitely a large opportunity for Matic to move up and right. I'm not dumping a whole bag into it, but hey, $100 and like it can make a little move up. Why not? So numbers, I think I pretty much showed you the areas, didn't really say the numbers. So the bottom side right now for the platinum pocket is sitting at about 58, 59 cents. If it does move down to the next support area, basically where this fib retracement all started at, you're looking at about 50 cents. So that's if it moves down and right. What I'm looking for right now is a bounce in this area, and I would like to play that up to about 66 cents. You got to keep an eye, obviously, on the golden pocket here and the dynamic reactor. You have confluence right there, right? So that is definitely going to be an area of resistance, or at least you're going to see some sort of price action in that area, is what I would say. Expect, and that's at about 77 cents for Polygon.
Sweet. I'm going to run through really fast on Ethereum, guys, and then we'll wrap it up because we're talking about these layer twos. We've got to talk about Ethereum. So let's jump over to Ethereum. Take a look at what we got going here right now. You guys can see I've got some fibs turned on here, and on these fibs, we did get our rejection off of the golden pocket twice here now. I look to see, and I'm looking at a daily chart here, that we're probably going to head down to the 50% Fibonacci level here. That's going to be about $3,263. That's also going to coincide right there with the dynamic reactor, given a little bit of time here on the daily for this to move up into that, and looking at about 3250 range there. But I do want to show you guys, if I pull up, I did a fib channel on Ethereum also, very similar to my weekly chart on Bitcoin. And you can see here right now, because based on the fibs pulled from the candle close top to the candle close bottom, we got perfect rejections twice on the top of this platinum pocket on the 887 there. Right now, we're trading in the platinum pocket, and this is coming in at about 3370, 3350, somewhere in that ballpark range for the bottom here. So if we hold this level, then look for a bounce inside the platinum pocket. If we don't hold this level on Ethereum, then again, $3,200 is in play there for that. Jumping real fast over to here, Ethereum analysts are saying that it could hit $5,000 after a major move. That is based on that data from the ETFs. So I'm trying to rush through this engine here, but guys, it is well past the bottom of the hour. At the end of the day, the markets are going to do what the markets are going to do. We've got a lot of bearishness right now, but if you guys look at what's going on outside of crypto, we do have some economic data coming in. FOMC said that they're only looking at one rate cut this year, and that's what's really shaking up the crypto market. It is a high risk asset, but if we look at crypto synchronizing with other markets, guys, Barkley believes that the S&P could hit 6,000 soon, and it's not alone. So at the end of the day, there's still higher calls coming in for the markets in general, especially in the stock side. And I do believe that right now we're just seeing typical 60 to 90-day post-halving activity. The only difference is this time we hit a new all-time high really early in because of the ETFs from Bitcoin causing so much FOMO and attention into the space. Guys, it's okay. If you're dollar cost averaging and you're not in this for a quick buck, but you're in this for life-changing finances, then this is the time to be looking at dollar cost averaging, not financial advice. But that's what I got. TradeFly, what do you got for the people on the way out? And then we'll pass it over to OC.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, it's great mixing up with you guys. I hope everyone has a wonderful day. Again, don't freak out yet. We gave you some great levels to look at, and we got my frat boy Army Piper up there holding down the show with me. But hey, we really appreciate you guys coming in. Definitely, if you can give us a like and subscribe, we would truly appreciate that. Definitely helps the channel. Want to just pump the algorithm, and yeah, everyone have a good day. Pass it over to OC.
OC, what do they get if they hit that like button?
Gosh, here we go.
Absolutely. Last Friday was for the girls. This time it's going for the boys. So strap on because we might get canceled. No, just kidding. Guys, quick reminder, click that like button. Thank you so much for joining today. Remember that if you click that like button and your wife or partner is shredding that there's no day tomorrow on the shower and you see hairs everywhere, if you click that like button, she will stop doing that. And you have a less tangling shower day. So, all right, just kidding. Just click that like button, and that helps us with the algorithm. Thank you so much for joining. Yeah, I know.
You're killing me, man.
For joining and passing it over to you, brother.
All right, guys, thanks for joining us today. We'll be back here tomorrow morning, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, bringing you guys the news, charts, and the markets, and everything you need to have knowledge, because knowledge is profit. We're about to go raid Randy Hipper's live stream, guys, so get in there and drop those graduation caps. Let them know the alumni has entered the frat house party, guys. We'll catch you next time. Till then, trade safe, and as always, use a stop loss.
I don't know what they keep telling me. I don't know what they keep telling me. Ain't no school like Piper Academy. Ain't no school like Piper Academy. We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling after the wheels fall low. I know you hungry for knowledge, that's profit appetite. Classes in session, this for the Army Piper acolytes. Trade flag at the soul, train ready. What a line from OCI, from a Mexican spaghetti. Yo, crunch crypto with a deep dive to reject dime. And if you like the visual powered by Chart Prime, then you were part of that alumni, that's all spine. But if you have step, fall back to offline. We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling after wheels fall low. Sound off to get rhythm, the ZTS rhythm. Rip it, Alexandra.
Yeah, that's my alumni, you know what I mean?
That was awesome, dude!